Well, it initially started with getting the email from my lecturer. She kind of sent it to students who were interested in doing stuff within sports. Sports is something that I've always, since I started my studies, is something I always knew I wanted to go into sports broadcasting in some form. Um, so I've done a few different things with a few different sports teams, but when I kind of saw that one, I was like, this is with an actual company rather than just freelance. So I was like, no, this kind of seems like a much better opportunity. And it's kind of I'm at the right time in my life now where I'm like I can put a lot of time and dedication into it. So it's kind of came at a perfect time for me. Yeah, that started when I was younger, really, just my dad. I'm gonna say forcing me to go to games, but then eventually you just develop an interest, don't you? It's just, do you know what drew me to football was the atmosphere. I just loved the atmosphere. Always made me like, always just sent chills, especially like when the crowd are singing and stuff. I just love it, and that's kind of definitely what drew me to football was my dad taking me when I was younger, and I've just continued to go with him, continue to watch from home. And yeah, it's a good bonding point for me and my dad. We've not got much in common, but we enjoy football. Um, well, it actually started off with my interest in women's basketball. That's where it started off. Specifically interested in women's sport, and I kind of the more I got involved with the basketball, the more I was like I kind of wanted to look into other sports, and I knew someone who played for just for fun, not any of the leagues or anything, but she went to this football thing every Thursday night it was. And she was like, you should come along, you should come along. So I went along just to watch her play. And I was like, it's really fun. I was like, I had a great time. And then I just from there, I just kind of started following more of the women's teams. It was just more like, I don't know why I hadn't previously been, but it's the same thing. It's just women that are doing it. And I thought this is a good this is a good community. It's a good community, the women's football especially. Yeah, so one of the things that I was most interested in was the social media side of it, the TikToks, um, and starting TikToks like that. Just even just trying to draw people to the women's game. Another few things that I've looked about is the ACL rates for women's footballers. That's something that I found really, really interesting. And like you've mentioned, which I actually hadn't looked into before until you mentioned it, was the female referees. And even the other night when I was at the game, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, you're so right. Like they do get so much hate. I was like, I don't know why I've never paid attention to that. I guess it's just because it's so normalized, isn't it? It's just a part of the game. And she made a decision and everybody was booing her, and I was like, oh, it's just our job. Like, no need for that. But yeah, no, those are some of the things I've kind of been looking into the past few weeks. I think it's definitely gonna have given me kind of the access to put my foot in there and the confidence as well. Because when I started my studies, the thought of sending someone I didn't know an email about an interview or anything would have, oh my God, I would have hid in my room for 3 days. But now I definitely have more confidence, and even just the knowledge of the cameras and stuff and the different angles, like, and even like you say, editing, that's a massive thing. But yeah, no, I think most aspects that I've done at uni are really, really helpful into my future career, hopefully.